Prime Minister Modi receiving Sheikh Mohamed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, President of UAE, at the airport. Those are the shots that we are getting, and this is a welcome to the President of UAE, Sheikh Mohamed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. Prime Minister Narendra Modi went to receive His Excellency Sheikh Mohamed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, who is President of UAE, at the airport. This is his third visit to India after becoming the President of UAE. Those are the shots of welcome. Prime Minister Modi welcoming the President of UAE, Sheikh Mohamed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. And this is, like I said earlier, this is the third visit of the President of UAE to India. A grand welcome being accorded to the President of UAE at the airport. Came at a time of heightened tensions in West Asia marked by strained Iran-US relations, the ongoing instability in Gaza and unresolved conflict in Yemen involving Saudi Arabia and the UAE. And for more on this, let me just go across to my colleague Brijesh Pandey, who's joining us live from the newsroom. Brijesh, how important is this, considering that there is a lot of tension in West Asia amidst this? I mean, UAE and India already have always, historically had very strong both trade as well as cultural relationships. But how do you look at it now in the background of the tensions in West Asia, Brijesh Pandey?
Well, it's an extremely important visit, given the fact that this particular visit is, expected to explore new frontiers and further boosting the comprehensive and strategic partnership between the two countries. And as you very rightly pointed out, this particular visit comes amid a very volatile situation in the Middle East, arising out of a sharp decline in Iran-US ties, similar tension between Saudi Arabia and UAE over Yemen, an unsettling political scenario in Gaza. More importantly, with three countries, Saudi Arabia and Pakistan and Turkey, forming a kind of Islamic NATO group where, attack on any of the country will be deemed as attack on all three. So in middle of all these, tumultuous time with the West Asia is undergoing, this particular visit assumes a lot of significance. People who are familiar with the UAE president visit said that trade, investment, defense industry, cooperation and all are likely to be the top agenda as far as his conversation with Indian leadership is concerned.
Brijesh, Prime Minister Modi has always laid a lot of stress on maintaining both a trade as well as a cultural cordial relationship with UAE. What, of course, apart from the political background that you just described, Brijesh Pandey, do you think this time around a lot of, MOUs will be signed for trade and strategic trade between the two countries, as well as, the developments in the region? Will those two be the main agendas, as it were?
Well, this is what many people are speculating, because the fact of the matter is that, that this visit of UAE Crown Prince is of approximately 2 hours. And what we have been given to understand is that around 14 MOUs are likely to be signed. And, these MOUs are going to be of trade and investment, defense industry cooperation, and energy initiatives are likely to be at the top agenda as far as talks with the Indian leadership is concerned. But the situation in Middle East is something which, informed people from informed quarters are believing is could likely be one of the most important conversations between India and UAE.
Of this arrival and the meeting also, actually focuses on the point, Brijesh, that this is his third visit to India after becoming the President of UAE. I mean, that says something, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. He shares a very cordial relationship. Sheikh Mohamed bin Zayed shares a very cordial relationship with the Prime Minister, and it reflects, whether it's Prime Minister's visit to UAE is concerned, or his 3 visits in the last 10 years is concerned. They share a lot of warmth as far as both individuals are concerned, and this is reflective of the kind of policy UAE has vis-a-vis India. even when the Operation Sindoor was ongoing, there was no pressure on India from any of these quartets or countries who had very, very close ties with India. So, yes, it's a very personal, warm ties between UAE and India. And it'll be very interesting to find out about, what kind of conversations other than the 14 likely MOUs which are to be signed up as far as the conversation over, volatile situation in West Asia is concerned.
Brijesh, when you look at geopolitics, how do you view this? India has handled the tensions geopolitically very, very astutely. I mean, it has seen to it that as a leader, it does give out its opinion, but has also kept away from the showdown, as it were. So, shed some light on the ongoing Iran-US tension as well as the tensions in Gaza, Brijesh.
Well, what is happening is that the relationship or the deteriorating relationship between US and Iran has thrown the entire West Asia into a tizzy, and India is no exception. They're like a constant one threat or another, every 24 hours vis-a-vis people who are doing business with Iran is something which is having a very unsettling effect as far as people who have or the countries who have, stakes of purchasing oil to Iran or their various other strategic investment in Iran. So this definitely is a very deeply unsettling move. And what is being given to understand is that, Sheikh Mohamed bin Zayed is someone who has a very, good relationship with also with MBS of Saudi Arabia. So, many believe that Indian side will be briefed on about what is happening exactly as far as the situation in West Asia is concerned, how exactly India should move forward. India will also voice their own concern because what is happening with the Shah Bahar port development, which was to be done jointly by India and Iran. So, there are a lot of the situation right now in West Asia is in a flux. And many believe that this could be one of the key reasons for this conversation and this visit, which is going to be of all of 2 hours as far as, UAE is concerned.
Yes, Brijesh, and let's now go back to the visuals of Prime Minister Modi welcoming the President of UAE, which happens to be his third visit. Also, we understand that the Prime Minister shall host Al Nahyan at his official residence at 7 Lok Kalyan Marg in the evening. The UAE President shall be in India only for a few hours for this crucial visit and shall depart on Monday itself. The UAE President will only be in India, like I said. The meeting between the two leaders was earlier finalized in December 2025, but it was delayed due to certain reasons. Both leaders, for those who have just joined us, are expected to sign agreements on investments in special economic zones, food security and nuclear cooperation. Now, the situation in West Asia is also expected to feature prominently in discussions with the Indian leadership. As we well know, and as Brijesh Pandey, my colleague, was explaining, India and the UAE has seen a sharp rise in bilateral trade and people-to-people ties since signing the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, which is CEPA, which was way back in 2022. Of course, that agreement has helped boost trade flows and investment between the two nations. Of Prime Minister Modi welcoming the President of UAE on your screens. It was a grand welcome, of course, and very, very important considering that UAE and India have enjoyed a relationship which goes back in history, whether it's trade or people-to-people relationship.